Imagine not being Leeds, not feeling this pain, not dancing through thunder, not walking through rain. Imagine not rising with fists in the air when the world turned its back and no one would care. We've lived in the ashes, we've drowned in defeat, but still we stand proud on our battered old feet. Imagine not loving with all that you are. Imagine not being Leeds.
We love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.
We do love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds. Now then, everybody, bit of an early one in terms of late night leads, a Thursday night instead of a Friday, but I will let you all know why if you don't already know. I'm doing it early. I'm on my Todd, on my own. It is what it is. But yes, it is the return of late night leads. And there we go. I got him in still anyway. Oh my word. I'm smiling anyway. I am smiling, which is nice. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. So yeah, you know me. I normally do this on a Friday with the boys. But Adam is away on his holidays. I can't remember what it is. He's not on an airplane though. I know he's in the country somewhere. But and Sean is working nights, so it's just me on my lonesome. I've got the charity walk on Saturday night. So Saturday morning. Sorry, I'll be there all bloody night. So I'm going to Manchester tomorrow night to stay in a hotel. So we wouldn't be able to do it tomorrow night, regardless of everyone else's situation. So I thought I'd come on tonight, do a bit of a me and the chat. My favourite sort of way to stream is just me, and we'll just get through chat, and I'll try and get through as many comments as I can. Bit of back and forth, sort of what I'm known for in the YouTube space. Don't do as much of it now. We're doing other shows and stuff like that. So I thought it'd be nice to keep the late night leads brand going and do a bit of a solo one. But as you can see, I've got Adam to my left and Sean to my right still. But yeah, I'm feeling a bit better now, but still, there's plenty to get into. So Tezza, hey up, mate, hope you're well. Gary Hoyle, the lead support, have my sympathy. The 49ers seem to have left you high and dry. They lift you up to then drop you flat. We know all about this too well, Gary. We've had it for forever, really. Where has the money gone? Or is it just funding there? I don't think it's funding other franchises, no. I think it is a PSR, in my opinion. We've hit a sort of threshold. You know what it is, Gary, as well? I think you're Sunderland, aren't you? We haven't made no sales. We haven't made no sales, mate. So to spend 100 million these days isn't much, but 100 million for an newly side, it's not to be sniffed at. Have we spent it wisely? Time will tell. But we haven't brought enough in for me to sort of offset it against what we're spending. So Ian Brown, here he is again. Oh, you bugger. Hope you're well, Ian, mate. Hey up, Mike. Please like, comment and subscribe. Yeah, thanks a lot, Mike. Yeah, please do that. Please stick a like on. I've got a polling. How's it looking so far? Oh, it's a 50-50 split. Oh, no, it's not. It was. Do you think Leeds stay up? 59% say yes so far. Ooh, I think so too. Marching on with Sean. Just done a video with Sean as well, so I'll bang it on my community feed as well, Sean. Tell people to go watch it, even though my computer kept on bailing on me. So if any technical issues on here, bear with me, because for some reason my laptop had a bit of a dicky fit 10 minutes or so ago. Love you, pal. Cheers, Callum. Love you too, man. Can't wait to spend the day with you on this bloody walk. Evening, Matt. I hope you're well. Hey up, Lucy. I'm really good. Thank you very much. Hope you're well. Hey up, Angela. Dave, hey up. Hope you're well. Did you see the carnage when the new gear came out? It was madness. Yeah. I mean, it dropped in it the day after the window, and I was like, I am not buying that. Not down to the fact I didn't have 100 quid spare downside of myself to buy that new tracksuit. I just refused. Even if I'd have had it, I was like, I'm not buying that the day after the window. They can sod off. But a few of my mates did. Evening, Nigel. Hope you well, mate. The 3 players we've signed on deadline day have set us up for the AFCON with a pretty decent team. I think they set you up regardless at AFCON, yeah. I mean, I know what you mean when the AFCON comes about and you've got a fair few players going out. You sort of feel like you've still got a decent side there, which is good for you guys. I didn't expect you to sign free on deadline day, and I won't lie. Bit of a mad one. So far, so good. Let's not count us chickens, though, mate. Might have good luck with your what Saturday would kill me, mate. Yeah, it's gonna kill me, Richard. But we'll get through it. I ain't got a choice. Can't come on here and say I failed, can I? So we'll get through it. I'll get it done. There's so many people. Evening Aisha, evening Russ. Hey up, Mark. Fuck it. We'll survive. We are Leeds. We're hard. Is that all you need to be hard, mate? Is that it? Rich. Our biggest problem is Parag is calling the shots. But it's not football, man. It's no wonder we put together such a League Two recruit. Yeah, and it is, mate. What is it? He can negotiate contracts in his sleep and all this stuff. I think he's been very naive, hasn't he, Rich? I don't mind promoting within if you've got the right people for the jobs, and you know they've sort of looked at that and promoted Underwood and Evans into roles where they probably should be nowhere near. There's been a lot of eyebrows raised going into a Premier League season. The biggest transfer window you could imagine, really, for a newly promoted side with a stadium restructure on the line. It's not something you need to be doing in Championship, so it's crucial, we're saying, the division. To gamble all that on an inexperienced director of football, it just seems ludicrous now at this point. It seems scandalous. We've put ourselves in that position to end up where, you know, the window for me had to be right up there with Sunderland's. You know, I think Sunderland have smashed it in terms of their window. We needed to be right up there, you know, an 8 out of 10. We're short of that. We're short of that. You know, you could say, some people say we're 3 or 4 players short. I've seen some takes. I think we're probably 2 players short, which is what Farke identified he wanted. Maybe we're 2 short and Elijah Ramazani short as well. Some of the decisions we've made has been mental. We started the window really strong. The certain parts of our squad, it's pretty unbalanced, isn't it? I mean, certain parts of our squad have, you know, plenty of players in there. You know, that central midfield space. I'd say centre half, we've got some good options. And then, you know, you look at your number 10. There's just no one really there you'd want to be playing there. And up top, you're heavily reliant on fitness of two of the players in Metchard and DCL. So it is a worry, but yeah. It's a gamble he's taken, and we'll have to see if it pays off. If it pays off, then it's smart in it, and it saved money for maybe, you know, further down the line. How many points do we need by the end of the year before new transfer window's over? I don't know about points really, Diamond Miss. It's hard to sort of say. I've seen some people say, you know, 36 will keep us up. I ain't too short, to be honest, this season. I think it's going to be a lot tighter. I think the points total might need to be a bit higher, because I don't think there's one absolute stinker of a team in there. We all thought Burnley, and they haven't started too bad. So I'm a little bit concerned it might be a little bit higher than what people think. But we don't want to be in bottom 3. I'll say that. We want to be clear at bottom 3. But it's a big ask, innit? It's a big ask. But yeah, if we can be anywhere higher than 17th, would be ideal. Kilgallen, evening, mate. Need to get back on the positive wagon, even though I would only suck. No chance of staying up. Yeah, that's where I'm sort of at now, Kilgallen. We'll get through it. We'll read comments out tonight, and, you know, we'll sort of go through it together, a bit of therapy. But ultimately, I am at that point now where, you know, after this stream, I'm going to move on from this transfer window, and we'll just take it game by game. The annoyance of Farke is the Ramazani loan. The annoyance of the board is, you know, deadline day really, really annoys me. But that last 10 days after signing, last 9 days after signing Justin, after hearing our owner the week before got on Sky Sports, nice and brash, saying, you know, that most deals happened in the last week, and we know we didn't bring anyone in the last week, so that bothers me. Like I say, we'll get through it, but ultimately we've got to move on. And you're right, we need to make Ellen Road a fortress. For me, Ellen Road is the key to staying in the division, and I think if we stay in the division, we'll look back at so many great performances and games where we've picked up, you know, maximum points, and we'll look at those games, and I reckon the majority of them will be at Ellen Road, you know. And that's we've got something unique as a football club, you know, a one club city where, you know, how rare is that? How rare is that in England? You know, to have one city, one club, and we know what it's like at Ellen Road. We know we're famously known for it. We're infamously known. You know, people love us, people hate us, but it's one of those things where you need to use every little bit of every percentile to your advantage. And Ellen Road home form has to be that, and you only get that with a United, Leeds United. You only get that with a United club, and that's fans, owners, players, management. Everyone has to come together as one, and I fully back us to do that. I'm in that mindset. I'm well with you, Kilgallen, and say we'll talk about it on the air tonight, but I am of that mindset now of fuck it, C's mentality, us against the world. Let's do this. Is that you done, mate? Is that you done? I said the same, but how? 2 drill tops on my jumper. Yeah, maybe, mate. This is not the only club American owners have stitched up and transfer windows. Arsenal, Man United, Sunderland. Mate, you just have to look at the future, mate. Good luck with your walk. Yeah, no, I sort of hear you with that one, Gary. I do, and thank you for what, mate. I need as much luck and positivity as I can. I will be doing a vlog. I'll be filming and doing a vlog for walk, but I'll probably also pop on and do some random, just sporadic lives through there. Just try to drum up sponsors and just sort of entertain myself and entertain you while I'm on walk. So we'll see. Mr. Whitesnake's in the house. Hey up, Steve. Hope you're well, buddy. Such a worry that Steve Evans says no free agents. Steve Evans. And not really wanting to buy in January. You mentioned that Largy will be working with a good coach. It's that swipe at Farker. I didn't see it like that, Nige. I didn't. I think it just rolls off tongue, doesn't it? They know Corbran, and they know he'll get good coaching under him. The not wanting to buy in January, that's just standard. I think every manager, owner, or I think every single person in a football club that gets asked about the transfer business, especially when it's gone quite negative, admitting you need players in January means you're fucked up now, doesn't it? And although they know they have to a degree, I feel like there were a lot of, passing the buck. I don't feel like anyone has really put their hand up and said, yeah, we're messed up. To say, we only had one deal we wanted to make, get done on deadline day, and Harry Wilson, I think that's a bit of bullshit anyway. I just think they played themselves into a corner where some of the targets they wanted didn't want to come, and they ended up where they were scratching around bargain bin. And I like Harry Wilson, but for him to pin all your hopes on Harry Wilson when you're in Premier League as Leeds United, it's a bit of a mad one, but it is what it is. But yeah, I do think the free agents another one where I don't think there's much quality in there. I know there's Ericsson and Ziyech, but they're old. They're not the sort of players we'd sign for me. While Ever Brownhill were in there, I looked at him and thought, there's something in that. It looks like now he's definitely gone to Saudi. It looks like he's taking the $100,000 a week tax free. Don't really blame him. It is what it is. I think Brownhill's the only one I would have gone for. I do think potentially if he'd have still been a free agent in the coming days, maybe it's something we would have entertained. I think it'd have been daft not to at least look at it. But I also think they're not going to admit they're looking in free market. They're not going to, pin their tail to mast and go, yeah, we want him. Because if that falls through too, it's just another embarrassing box tick for Leeds United, isn't it? So I love that, Cox. You tossers. Love that. Yeah, contracts in his sleep, apparently. Yeah. Apparently he does. Get it sent over. The American guy who supports Leeds done a video the other night and had some 49ers fans on it. It's pretty damning what they said. Oh, really? Is that American guy in Leeds? Is it? I don't really watch your stuff. I might have to give that a watch. It sounds quite interesting. It's like promoting the T-Lady manager. Yeah, it feels like Hockaday, doesn't it? Being manager of Leeds. It's sort of that vibe. Martin Nolan. Evening, Martin. Hope you well, mate. I think we'll stay up, but it'll be close. That's the thing. I feel like we've lost his breathing space, Rich. I still back us to stay up. I'm not going to not back us to stay up. Fuck it. I ain't going to sit here doom and gloom and say we're going down because we've actually had a decent start on the pitch. But it's the breathing space is gone. Steve, Mr. Whitesnake, who's in chat, fancies us to get 10th. I thought he was crazy. You crazy man, Steve. And even he's backtracked a little bit on there when he says, I think I would have gone a bit too high on 10th, which at the time, and if we'd have brought in the players we were supposed to, maybe you'd have been right, mate. But I always thought that was a little bit too high. But I had us down at 14th, 15th, and like I say, now it's probably dropped to bet what's best we can hope. Really, we're going to be in a fight, aren't we? A dog fight. Just got to hope and pray with right side of that relegation line. I said ages ago they've not got enough experience to buy players at the top table. We cut our own throughout putting it. Yeah, we did. I look at Sunderland, and I can't remember the guy's name. Someone will tell me later down chat, I'm sure, but. He's experienced in Europe. He's got great connections. Sometimes whining and dining of clients and agents can help, and I just don't think that's Underwood. I don't think that's Leeds. I think to have that sort of you know, that little black book with certain names and numbers in there. I firmly believe a lot of these clubs have been, you know, we're kind of battling to stay up with, especially Sunderland. I think they've got like an abundance, you know, and I think you're halfway there if you've got them on first name terms, certain agents and stuff for players. And Underwood for me is just, you know, it's just a total newbie. He hasn't got those connections with the right people to go out there and maybe initially get those initial talks and things like that. So the most damning one was the pride they took when you're reading that article that Baron Cross, and I think Graham Smith did really well, put some really good questions in there for Evans. You know, the most telling one was what's that? Yeah, well, when they asked about when they talk about the Pajal deal, and they were absolutely buzzing that they'd got it to like a 50-50 decision, which is wild. They were genuinely buzzing with how they've handled the Pajal situation, because at one point it got to a 50-50 decision where, you know, it looked like he may come, and that's a bit of a wild one for me to be that happy that they've almost, well, not even almost, but just got it to where it's a 50-50 decision. It's mental. Like a little mini celebration they were doing for that. I could not understand the keeping of Melier, saying it was best for him. Yeah, again, you know, I've just said this on Marching On with Sean's channel. I've just done a little video of him over there, which is put out. Go check it out. And we heard a couple of days ago that team in Turkey were looking at Melier. So I'm sort of looking at it and thinking, I know Lorient were in for him, and I think maybe another French team or two. Did it get to a point where the only decent financial deal was for him to go to that team in Turkey? And is that why he chose not to go? And Leeds deemed it best he didn't go, and it were best for all parties. Because for me, Melier moving on, that was best for all parties. There were no two ways about it. Now he's going to bring his contract down. It was a pure PSR profit selling Melier. Whether he got 2, 3, 4, 5 million, it'd gone great against the books and maybe allowed us freed up space to go buy someone in a position we need. Now you've just got Premier League wages coming off, and then ultimately it can sort out a free transfer in January for end of season. So it seems mental. It seems too mental for any sort of to make any sense of it, really. All I can say is with that is, Steve, is that what it was? Was it the only actual decent deal would have been to go to that team? I may be way off with that. I've heard a rumour they were in for him. He hadn't gone anywhere. Is that why? And they haven't come out and said, oh, because it's you know, it's talking about that team. I don't know. I'm just sort of looking at it thinking maybe that's because it don't make no fucking sense otherwise. If a side's in for him, then you get rid of him. He sold his fucking house at Melier, bless him. So I don't know how far wide. I don't know if I've hit the post with that. I don't know if I'm nowhere near, but I'm sort of putting 2 and 2 together and getting maybe 19 there. But maybe that's part of it. I don't know what you think. Maybe panicking too early. It's 3 games and never expected to be Arsenal. I'm happy. So yeah, I mean, let's be fair. You look at those first 3 games, Dave, and you'd have took 4 points. But I mean, with Arsenal away, no teams are free in my book, but they are really, aren't they? It's just my book's a bit mental. But they are a free hit to a degree. So out of those opening, you know, 9 points available, you're probably realistically playing for 6, and we've got 4. 2 clean sheets at home. You know, 4 points, unbeaten at home so far this season. Keeping that momentum going at Ellen Road, which is all about, you know, keeping that momentum going from Championship where you can. But the lack of goals is deafening. It's deafening. Bearing the obvious teams, I caveat saying it's still early. The Premier League looks mid from what I've seen. Teams in flux, Villa and points are there to be grabbed. Yeah, I mean, there's some teams struggling now. We won't be struggling come end of season, Tam. So if we can take some points off them, before they're getting this, you know, before they're getting a stride, then great. But when you do look at the table, it is quite worrying in terms of you're looking at Villa. We're currently above Villa, above Newcastle, and you're looking, you know, they aren't going to be down there come end of season. So if the sides that should be down there are doing slightly better than what we thought, you know, and it levels out, we will be in trouble, won't we, to a degree. But yeah, it's just a bit of a mad one. I didn't expect, you know, Burnley to take points off Sunderland. You know, Brentford have got to win. I think everyone's won a game now, I think. West Ham go to Forest and win 3-0. A result I didn't see happening, and I don't think many teams will do that to Forest this season, especially at their place. So I think every team's won. I mean, we've had seasons recently where the bottom side have absolutely stunk the joint out. And I think Burnley finished bottom, but I don't know if they'll stink the joint out. Do you know, I don't think they'll be that bad. So it is going to be a difficult one. But as a newly promoted team, what are we cheering for in Championship? What are we cheering for? To play Premier League football, to watch a side play City, to have that rivalry back with Scum, to play Liverpool. And we don't expect, when we were in Championship last season, we don't expect to come up and win these games, but we expect to, build a squad capable of competing. We expect the managers to be given all the right tools. The fact that he hasn't has left a bit of a sour taste in a lot of Leeds fans' mouths, and it's made it a bigger, harder task. But like I say, with Leeds, we rally round and we'll get there. And I'm pretty sure we will. And it'll make it even more sweeter, won't it? And for me, it'll give Farker some flowers. And I'm not a massive Farker lover. I don't mind him. He's done really well. It is what it is. Like, while ever he's as manager, I'll back him. I'm just not a lover of him like I've been previous managers. But like, if he keeps his side up and does it well, then he needs to be getting his flowers, because he's been given a better squad than what he had at Norwich for those 2 seasons, 100%, way better. He's been backed to a degree, but still he hasn't quite got all the pieces. So he's got to find a way, of getting points, enough points to stay up with a side that isn't complete in his eyes. And it's a formation change, something we haven't seen from Farker. So there's a lot of, he's having to adapt on the job and on the role, and with different, the levels of quality we're facing each week. It's a big ask for him to sort of do this, really. But if we do go down, if we do struggle, can you blame Farker? I say you can, but there'll be a lot of people say you can't, because he's not been given everything he asked for. But sometimes you don't get everything you ask for, and you've still got to deliver, and that's where he's at. He's still got to do it, and he'll still be criticised from me week to week, just like every player will be when I come on here and talk about it. But hopefully he's learned enough in the 2 years he's been in Premier League prior to Leeds, of how to go about it and what he needs to do to change. So I think there's definitely enough in this side still to do well and get something from it. So 40 points keepers up, you think, Rich? A lot of people are saying 10 wins. 10 wins is 30 points and a handful of draws. Well, what you're saying, you're going to draw over 8 or 9. I think we need 11 wins or 10 more. I think we need 11 wins and maybe 5-6 draws. I think 38, 39 might keep you up, but it's definitely not low 30s. I've seen people say 33, 34 keeps you up. That's bollocks. That I think you have to aim for 40, Rich. So yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, he has, mate. He has, which is mad. But he's just tempering expectations as well to a degree. But then again, unless we sell in January, and if we are at his PSR limit, Steve, unless we sell in January, he can't spend, can he? Yeah. The last moments at window, we're putting down 10 million for Wilson. So what is it? Have we got money? Have we not got money? Where are we at? As a club financially? Because I understand if we're at his limit, we're at his limit. You can't. They're not going to. They're not going to go beyond that. Let's be fair. I probably won't want them to, because we'd all be sitting there shitting it, wouldn't we? Thinking they're going to take 15 points off us. Because let's be fair, they probably would. So I don't mind them not going to limit. But then where have they got 10 million for a slap down on Wilson? And people will say, well, where's the Pajau and Mooney's money that we're going to pay for them early? And I understand that. But what I'll say on that is, there was still a long time at window to offload a Millier, to maybe sell a Joseph before he went out on loan, to sell maybe a Gruev or a Pirro. When we linked with Demirovic, the striker, you may have looked at that and thought, where are we getting money from for that? I think we were in for players like that. Maybe you bring him in and you offload a Pirro. Maybe you get 15, 20 million for Pirro. I think they'd have maybe gone beyond it and then got money back in before the end of the window. But the Wilson one's a bit of a mad one. If they're right up against the PSR where they pulled 10 from, unless they've just thought, sod it, we'll gamble. But was he worth the gamble? I'm not too sure. It'd have been a great addition, give us what we needed in terms of a set piece taker and stuff as well. But yeah, I'm a little bit. I don't know what to believe at the minute. I don't know what to believe. It was an underwhelming window. We have brought 4 good players in: Biol, Buddy, Stack, Perry. There's nothing we can do apart from back Daniel Fark and the team 3 to 4 points a month. Shuki. Yeah, Skip. That's where I'm at, mate. That's where I'm at. Like I say, I'll get through this stream and then I'll move on from it. But that's bang on where I'm at too. Can we maintain roughly that point a game sort of vibe? Hopefully we can, and it'll be enough. But yeah, AG's in the house. Evening, mate. Hope you're having a good holiday. That's to have you with me on screen, though, didn't I? David, if we would have got Malala Canoes, I'd have been happy with the window. But as far as staying up, we'll know a lot more by the next international. But yeah, we will, mate. I think we've got 4 games before next one, haven't we? Yeah, I mean, El Canoes should have been decent, mate. You can play on wing, 10, advanced 8. It'd have ticked a lot of boxes for us. And when it comes to that creative spark, he's a massive talent. So that one was another one where it just shows we must be up against the PSR limit, because all we were saying for that week or two we were linked with him, you know, it's got a release clause of 25 million quid. Just go pay it. You were going to spend X amount on, you know, on Pijao, and what are you waiting for? You know, oh, well, we heard rumours he's waiting for Eze to move on. He's going to go to Palace and all this shit, yeah. But he's got a release clause. Just go pay it. And then it's up to player, innit? Go stick the money down on the table and activate that release clause. And we didn't do it, and this is why, because clearly we didn't have the money. I do think there's something in, you know, spending 9 million on a backup in Justin. You know, if Goodmanson and Bogle play 35 games, 36 games this season and don't get any injuries, you spent 9 million quid on Justin, who's going to come on for the last 5 minutes of certain games to see a game out. Mad that, innit, when you look at it like that. You know, could that £9 million, could we have got, you know, a loan to fill that rotation, or not rotation, that backup spot of a fullback, and use that 9 million to go get someone else, you know, in an attacking option? Should we have moved a Piddo on just to get some funds and bring money in? Should we have maybe looked at offloading Gruev and bringing in somebody else? You know, I'm not saying we shouldn't. I'm just sort of playing devil's advocate and looking at the situation. You know, should we maybe do stuff like that? Yeah, I hope so, Ian. I hope so. You bugger. I think 36-38 points. We have enough. The Newcastle, yeah, Newcastle did. It did. Ian Brown, you played Everton and Newcastle at the best time. Not taking anything away from you, but you're lucky they didn't have. Yeah, but it's one of them, innit? Like, you know, we'll have a bit of back and forth, but you've got 6 points from 9, but you've had the easiest start you could have to a Premier League season in my eyes. Like, the easiest start. You know, West Ham, shocking. You know, yeah, they went and did that, but they were shocking. You know, Brentford and Burnley. You know, arguably, Ian, you should have 9 points. Don't get me wrong, newly promoted side, you got 6, brilliant. But in argument, say you should have 9. And you hadn't, and you fluffed your lines on that. For me, as good as your squad looks on paper and how well you've done you know, with the deals you brought in and stuff, but inconsistency as it was your season to a T last season. When inconsistency, luckily you flew ahead and you had a nice little gap to start with, and it got less and less and less. And you ended up finishing way within playoffs, and you'd come up through, you know, through playoffs. You did, but you know, inconsistency of your side, it plagued you last year for me. And same again, 2 wins, and then you lose the one which was the most obvious to win. And I'm sure you'd admit that. You know, to say we've played, you know, Everton and Newcastle, yeah, it might be, but you've got to look at Newcastle. They had injuries, yeah, they did, but so did we. You know, us losing Amper, who was captain, and Tanaka, 2 probably top 5 best players we've got. They're 2 of them. That's equal to us as them losing, you know, Joe Linton. It just is. It just is, and Gordon. You know, that sort of level of player. They're couple of, you know, 2 of their best players. We've lost 2 of ours. So, and playing Everton, why? I don't know. We just played Everton on opening day, you know, and we beat them at Ellen Road. So I'm not too sure about why it was a lucky time to play them out like that. I think you've got to play everyone twice, and it is what it is. You know, I'd say you were lucky to play a Burnley, a West Ham, and a Brentford in opening 3 games. I'd say you're well fucking lucky to have that, pal. You know, and that's why you've got 6 points, because you had the easiest start. You are looking well there, AG. You are looking very well, very chipper. Russ should have kept Ramazani, and several should have been shipped out early doors, bringing money in to enhance up front. It's sheer neglect from the board. I agree. I firmly agree with that, Russ. I really do. It's a mad one. I also think we loaned out Ramazani on the day Okafor. He got released at Okafor, was missing for the Newcastle game. And don't get me wrong, we knew it wasn't a long-term injury. Just feels weird when you're threadbare as it is, that, you know, how many times have you seen it? It's happened with that Jackson at Chelsea, and someone's going on loan, someone's leaving club, there's an injury, and then you go, you can't go, we'll bring you back. And I know it was just Newcastle, 1 game, but who knows? Okafor's got loads of injury. If I'm Farker, or if I'm, you know, 49ers, probably have to overrule Farker, to be fair, on this one, to keep Ramazani door, because clearly he's not Farker's boy, is he? Like, you look at that situation and go, he's already injured, he's been in 2 minutes. Recall him. You can't go on loan, Largy. I'm sorry. And it might be best for Largy to go get minutes. It probably is. But you look at that situation and go, no one else in world football for me would have let that go through, would have sanctioned that. On the day he's going, Okafor's out. That would have set alarm bells ringing for me straight up. thing is, if things are going tits up, then the 49ers will have to use winter to use winter window. Yeah, well, they'll have to. But then again, like I say, if we're at PSR limit, how do they maneuver that? Do they have to sell in order to buy in January? They don't want to do it. It's inflated. Is the market? They're not going to do it unless it's absolutely necessary. And I would argue it's probably not going to get done. It's probably not going to get done. Mr. White Snake, what the 49ers do not realise is that Leeds fans remember. The North remembers. We don't forget, mate. We don't forget. Angela, I suggest to stay up on the poll, but I think it's going to be really, really tough for us. We sure are the best fans, though, and I'm sure Ellen will be extremely hard for visitors. Come on, Leeds. That's what we've got to vote for, Angela. Great comment, love. Thank you. Leeds are most vulnerable when it comes to depth, so you may have a choice, but to invest in January if you get a lot of. Yeah, they've already said they're not going to invest in January, mate. So we've got to hope that we've got enough. That could just be bollocks, to be fair. That could just be just saying that so we don't, so as expectations come 1st of January, a rock bottom. Why loan out Largy and buy Okafor? Don't get it. Okafor money could have gone to Wall Street. Yeah, it's mental when you look at it like that, innit? And for me, I hope I'm wrong, and I know I always talk about Ramazani in the highest of order, but I aren't too sure the difference what you're going to get from Okafor. And I know AG's in chat and he'll say Okafor's better than Ramazani in that, but is the difference going to be that vast as it could have been to buy a right winger, a 10 or a striker with that money? Is it that vast? Is it going to be? If Ramazani stays and he gets 5 goals, 5 assists, are you telling me Okafor's getting 10 goals, 10 assists? What's the difference going to be in output? I don't think it's massive. Minimal. You could argue if Okafor, maintains his poor injury record, then maybe there's an argument that Ramazani would have been a better option. Maybe. These 83 people in the house, thank you so much for being here on this Thursday night. Will you please stick a like on the video? Currently on 43 likes. Can we get that up to 50 sharpish? Thank you very much. Easy B, how are you doing, buddy? The Leeds content creators have done people's heads in with all this transfer window crap. Are clicks and views more important than mental health? You're peddling negativity. I don't think I'm really peddling negativity, to be fair, Easy. I'm doing a walk on Saturday for Andy's Man Club, so I'm right on that train with you, buddy. You know me. I don't think I'm peddling negativity, really, pal. I think we're just discussing. Late Night Leeds is discussing the week's bits and news. I'm currently clicking on comments and talking to the comments of what's being said. So I will address yours. It has been a crap window. The Leeds creators have done people's heads in. Well, that's up to you not to watch it. That's fine. Some of these creators have, food to put on table and bills to pay, and they've got to put content out there. And at the minute, what have we got to talk about over the transfer window? So I'm definitely moving on from it from here on in. But like I say, I'm going through the comments and doing it. But I don't think I'm being that negative. I think Leeds stay up. I think the 49ers have had a shocker. And Fark has got a massive, massive task on his hand. But I'll still be there at Ellen World week in, week out, spending my hard-earned money, mate, shouting lads on. So I've got nothing but positivity to share. But when we get beat, I'll come on here and say, fucking hell, that was shit. Because guess what? Results can be negative. Guess what? Not buying anyone on transfer deadline day when you're refreshing all day and giving yourself a fucking rightus. It makes you feel a bit negative. But you'll keep fighting that good fight, sir. Anyone who comes into a Premier League season says your team will go down. Fucking plonkers. What's the point if you don't have hope? Exactly, mate. Got to have hope. Yeah, that's it, mate. That's it. The name you're looking for is Florence. I ain't even saying that, mate. The director signing for, he's done really well. He's had an absolute cracking window on it. Evening, Top Banana. Hope you're well, mate. All leads that way in MOT. Oh, here he is. Look, K up Wayne. All the fools in SAFC. Evening, mate. Another cracking show. Good to see some of the Sunderland boys in the chat tonight. Yeah, they constantly need us poking bear with a stick. I'm only joking. It's all right. It's all right, is Ian. I'm thankful for support from your lot too. It's class. But a great show we had on Tuesday, mate. I really enjoyed it. Tickle those like fire. Matty, cheers, Top Banana. Valencia wanted him. They did. And when you're a player like Largy Ramazani, who's talented and he'll know how good he is. He'll know he's a decent player himself. And to feel unwanted for a season and, you know, a summer, which he will have felt unwanted, let's be fair, by certain people in the club, not by the fans. That's the fact. Yeah, it's a shame it come with the decision it did, but it is what it is. Melly decision should have been what's best for LUFC. Yeah, it should have been. It should have been. He shouldn't be here. The wages is on. The fact that we're not going to get no money for him now, it's a madness, isn't it? Hey up, Bill. Matty, the bookies are thinking we stay up. Yeah, it'll be close. I mean, I think we stay up. It'll be close, won't it, pal? It'll be really close. Really, really close. Hey up, Christopher. Hope you're well, my mate. Let's have the lights lifted up for Matty. Cheers, Nige. Eddie. Hey up, mate. Yeah, there we go. Our support is the only chance we have of staying up. I'm surprised you're saying that, Ian, to be fair. I think, like I say, I think you've got the players on pitch as well. I'll do some of that as well. Smash them lights. Yeah, they haven't, but that'll change, won't it, Sean? Villa aren't going to finish below Leeds. Danny Talksport, please like and subscribe. Cheers, Danny. Yeah, that's it, Robin. These sides, there's only Wolves I look at on that list, and I think, yeah, they'll be down there. I think Newcastle, Villa, and Fulham will all be nowhere near it, mate, to be honest. The only hope we have is our home support and several teams playing in Europe. Yeah, to be fair, that's something I've said earlier in summer, but overlooked recently. The fact there's so many teams playing in Europe, nearly half a division, that does help us out, no matter what you say. Does help us out. Chairman is a joke. We as Rangers chairman don't care for Leeds. I don't agree with that. So they sold Tanaka, Stark, Pirro, and Perry. No, so they said we shall. I don't agree with Rangers stuff. I don't think that's impacted us at all. I had a few people message me saying, "Oh, I can't believe Rangers have signed someone on deadline day." And it's a separate pot of money, it's a separate fund. I'm not, all logistics of it. I don't really get involved in. But for me, they aren't prioritising Rangers over Leeds. They're not, in my eyes. Danny's going to bang a few little links in chat, which I'll bring up. So my mate Boss, that's his channel. Check that one out if you can. The fact we have 6 points between Wolves is a start and a half. If Newcastle beat Wolves, they will have to beat you next to... Yeah, I get that, mate. I still believe 10th or 11th. Top banana. I want a little bit of what you've had for breakfast, buddy. Yep, you can wear a mankini, mate. That would be... yeah. It's still too early for me, mate, to get on that. I've got to see poor ownership for a longer duration than a poor transfer window, which we're not sitting here saying they spent, 8 million quid. We're sat here spent 100 million quid. Whether they've brought in quality additions, we'll have to see. Maybe they should have brought in 5 or 6 and spent a bit more on each transfer. I don't know. We'll have to see. But they spent 100 million quid. That's obviously not enough for you. It's not enough for a lot of us. Don't get me wrong, but they've still spent. They haven't come in and just not spent, have they? So yeah, I don't want them out the door yet, because it could end up being the players we brought in could end up being enough, mate. And then what? If we finish 16th, 17th and stay up, surely you're not wanting 49ers out then. You want 49ers out now because you're assuming we're probably going to go down. If we don't go down, does that change? I would say it does. Clicking on these links. Passion for Leeds needs to do some more stuff, does Callum. There's Danny's channel. Go check Danny Mumsy out. Farker can't keep getting relegated. Yeah, it's not good for his reputation, really, is it? I don't think he'll go down this time, mate. But yeah, he's in another fight. The thing is, he's one of the best, or is he maybe the best coach or manager in as a championship manager? The record speaks for itself, but yeah, he's been at clubs that should be at the top end. But he's one of them. And how many players do we see who are maybe not quite good enough for Prem, but brilliant for championship? Is he one of them managers? He never gets touted for that Premier League job, does he? When you have a manager in championship, or a striker or someone playing well top end at championship year after year, and a Premier League job comes available, or a Premier League side low end needs a new player, needs a striker, sometimes I look and go, well, that best player or that best manager from that division. Farker's never in that conversation, so he's probably not. Well, he isn't known as being a Premier League manager. He's always struggled, but then again, when you get up with a newly promoted side, you are going to struggle. It's in the name, newly promoted side. You're never going to go really and smash it and win every week, are you? So it's always going to be a struggle, and they're the jobs he's had. It's it's one of them, but there is something in that, mate. Not even fans like the January window, it always smacks of depression. And sometimes clubs pay over the odds because they are vying for 2 or 3 other clubs than the player doesn't. Yeah, it isn't it? You just get over Christmas, don't you? And everyone's skint in January, and then you have a transfer window of Leeds linked. I think problem is as well, Gary, we're linked with every player. Leeds are linked with everyone out there. We're linked with all the players, and a bit like this one, because it's just easy links. People click on it, people read about it, people do videos about it. The content pops off on it when realistically we're probably not in for most of them, and it just makes you feel worse. You get to end at window, you have a deadline day where you're hopeful, and it don't go anywhere, just like we've just witnessed. So, yeah. Boss, nice evening, mate. Hope you're doing well. Rune, flowers to Fark if he keeps Leeds up. Not impossible, but the mood is not good. With 158 million used, I would be optimistic. Yeah, that's 100 million sounds a lot, but it's not in today's market, is it? I think Sunderland spent 180 million euros, I think, so maybe around 150 odd million. We are 2 players short. We know that extra 50 million would have brought in 2 decent 25 million pound players. Would that have been enough? Maybe. The fact that you think we might still have enough, it's not impossible. Says another couple of key additions probably would have been enough in everyone's eyes, mate. So, yeah, I do think we are probably 50 million short, which is what it was touted, wasn't it? Loosely, sort of linked out there in press, 100 to 150. That's what. But I think that 150 was selling a Melia, maybe selling a Joseph instead of loading him, maybe selling a Gruev or a Nonto or a Strauch, maybe one of these players who, because I do think when you look at other teams, they do sell players who you think, as if they've sold him, wow, or they've moved him on. I can't believe they've done that. We've seen Sunderland be ruthless. Patrick Roberts, right winger, see you later, you go on loan to Birmingham, just get out the door. Not good enough. It's brutal, and we haven't been brutal enough probably, which I don't mind to a degree. But if we go down, I'll be minding. Yeah. Needed Justin Cannon. Yeah, we can say I like Justin. Big fan of Justin. But could you have brought a player in for less money on a loan? Could you have brought a younger player in? Maybe. I know he's saying he's experienced. He's won an FA Cup. I get all that about Justin. I really like Justin. But if he ends up only playing a handful of games or we get to end the season, Justin's played 500 minutes. Could you have used that 9 million quid elsewhere and got someone else to play those 500 minutes? If we get an injury to Bogle or Goodmanson, which is a lengthy injury, I'm happy we've got Justin because I think as a backup who's going to come in potentially play decent minutes. If he stays fit again, touch wood, he's a good option. He's not everyone's favourite player, but I think if he has to come in for 3 or 4 games, I wouldn't be stressed about it. Like I would Byram, 100%. But maybe we could have got someone else who wasn't Justin or Byram and utilise that money further up the pitch, mate. Because it's just sat on the bench, innit? There you go, Blinky Fish. We're wasting money on Justin and Bar now that could have been spent elsewhere and left those spaces till the end of the winter. Yeah, potentially. That's what I mean. I feel like we did it backwards to a degree. Maybe we should have gone out and bought those reach targets or attempted those reach targets right at the beginning of the window. Like bringing a Bar now in, we knew what a squad player, even a Metcher, although I'm really liking Metcher. Maybe we should have gone out there and spent a bit on those areas and then plugged the gaps with, maybe another free signing if we needed to, or a couple of loan signings to plug those gaps. I think the Brighton player going to Chelsea on loan did a lot of damage even now. Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? Buonanotte goes to Chelsea and says he's looking forward to playing in Champions League. That's why he joined Chelsea, and then he's not even in the Champions League squad. I'm not surprised, though, because as good as Buonanotte is, you go into Chelsea and they just stockpile players. So I never saw him getting game time anywhere, let alone in Champions League. Oh, wow. Here he is again. Christopher Spofford Chapel gifted 20 Imagine Not Being Leeds memberships, which I'm pretty sure have already been spread out. Thanks so much for that, mate. That's the 3rd time you've done that now, you madman. Really appreciate it. Top guy. Speak to you most days in group chat, don't we? Cheers, Christopher, man. You're an absolute legend for that. What a guy. It really is, isn't it? It really is. We needed cover at left back and right back. Yeah, no, he was, mate. He was. Like I say, I've sort of said that now, haven't I? Legend. It was typical Mackems trying to take the high ground. They've had the easiest start of all the teams in the league, 100%. Me, I'm always behind on chat, but I enjoy it. I'm always behind. I'm going to flag this up because he hasn't really swore. Can't stand this Ian Brown div. My mate Robbo absolutely hates the Mackhams. So I appreciate you still being a massive supporter at the channel, mate, because there's a Mackham takeover sometimes now. I've got that show we're waiting on a Tuesday. He's a star. Yeah, I've seen socials, Blinky Fish. They're excited to have him out there. And they should be. They should be. Assist on his debut within a few minutes coming on. He's going to smash it at Valencia. I just hope when he returns next season, he's given a chance. But I wouldn't, if we stay up and we've had a good season, which we all want, Farker, I don't think he'll use him. So, seriously, Christopher, thanks for that, mate. You're a star. Bill, short on right wings and long on goalkeepers needs to be looked at. If changes are needed, mate, then yeah, we've just said that, haven't we, on Sean's channel. Yeah, the right wing spot, the right wing spot was one I wasn't even bothered about a month ago. I'm a massive Dan James fan. Wanting him, just like we all want him to prove everybody wrong. Fuck off, Dan James can do it in Premier League. Nonto has been playing on right, and so I haven't thought no to it. Although in the Prem last time, we were better off at left. In Championship, he never really fulfilled his potential for me. Nonto should have been best player in Championship, coming down that first season. And it never materialised. But I was sort of happy with right wing. And then a few games in, you start worrying about Dan James, don't you, a little bit, thinking, he's a great outlet. He can go along at times, get ball in behind. That catch and throw from Perry hopefully will work wonders at times with Dan James. But then you start to see Willie Nonto, playing on that right and really linking up really well with Bogle. And I think them two look great against Sheff Wednesday, albeit Sheff Wednesday. I do look at them two and think they've got a really good partnership potentially brewing there. And now all of a sudden you look at it and think, is Nonto, great starter on right wing? Dan James, if he's not at it, all of a sudden it looks a little bit vulnerable. But I will back him. I think Dan James will come good. I think I've always rated Nonto. I just think he hasn't produced with the amount of talent he's got. I think he could have done more in Championship and been a cut above. But I'm going to back Dan James. That right wing, it looks a little bit suspect now. But if you get Dan James fit and firing and having, somewhat like the form we saw last season, albeit we ain't going to get those numbers at this level. But if he can be as useful and impactful as he was last season to a degree, I don't think it's still a bad side. I think it's just that 10 for me. That 10's just. I really wanted Hamer those last few days at window myself. I really did. I honestly thought Bornau was brought to replace Strauch when we sell him for PSR. Yeah, and obviously, Strauch for me was one of those players who were vulnerable to go, but there were never no really talkings about it, was there, Steve? And then we bring Biol in. So I think on paper and the way the club looked at it was Pascal will be a squad option. He'll be the first sub. I think he will remain in the team now until he has reason to come out in terms of a poor performance. I think Arsenal, I did look at Arsenal, he may sub him out for the next game, but everyone were poor for that game. I think while Evan Ampadu's out injured, which I think is back for Fulham, I sort of understand him keeping him in, vice-captain, then goes to captain with him out. It's probably a bit too much to take your captain and your vice-captain out in one go, so I kind of get why you stayed in. But I think on merit, I think the 2 games at home, I think he's played really well in as Pascal, and I want to see Pascal start against Fulham as well, so regardless of Ampadu playing or not. And until he has a stinker, I would keep as it is. We know him and Rodon do well. They've got 2 clean sheets at home. But I would say Biol at some point is going to come in, and I am excited to see how Biol does. Scott N. Can someone explain to me if we're so near PSR spending cap, why did they think it was a good idea to release Ramazan in Bamford, leaving a shot? Yeah, I get that. Bamford's a tough one, isn't it? Because I assume with Bamford, we've had to pay his contract off anyway, and that'll go against PSR. So some would argue if we've had to pay him off, if we have, someone maybe tell me we hadn't had to do that. Maybe it were a mutual and he's walked away, but I wouldn't have thought he'd walk away from 70 grand a week for the next 12 months, So if you had to pay him off anyway, there's an argument you just keep him at club, don't use your 4th choice. If you're paying his wages off anyway, you may as well pay him each week, can't you? 70 grand and let him stay. But I do think it'd run its course with Bamford. Maybe I say hanging around like a bad smell, but he showed back end of last season that maybe it could be useful, but I do think the step up and all that, I don't think he'd have touched grass, apart from some massive injuries, which you never know when you're risking on DCL and Metcha. But the Ramazani one I agree with. The Bamford one, I'm fairly easy with. 2 out of 3 of Sunderland's midfield got the AFCON. Yeah, it does, mate. It does. Richard, we need to work hard, put the graft in, and we can do this team before ourselves. Sky's the limit. Yeah, I agree. That's how we've got to look at it now. Yeah, no, AG, I would have liked that, mate. I would have liked that. Let's have them both. Darren, I hate being negative, but it's going to be a real struggle to stay up now. Fark hasn't helped his cause with the treatment of Ramazani, also opening his mouth in public about reinforcements. Yeah, I mean, that will try to put pressure on board, that, won't it? But when it don't work out, it just is there going to be a rift there now? You know, is Fark going to be, you know, I assume annoyed? Is there going to be a rift there? I hope not. I would say not. But do you think he's been backed? You probably have to say no. Although he's been backed to a degree, he's still lacking in it. How do you even let Ramazani Bamford leave before 2 players are in the door? Yeah, it's just some schoolboy errors, isn't there? There's just schoolboy errors. It's mental. Yep, I agree on that, Brinkyfish too. You are so negative towards Okafor. He will be okay. I hope so. I feel harsh as well because I like to give people a chance. I don't know the guy, but I think it's probably just because he's replaced Ramazani. I bet that's what it is, Christopher. You know, I could hold my hands up. It's the fact that he's just always injured. He's just got so many injuries, mate. It worries me. And obviously he has taken my boy's place, so it's one of them. AG, in a 4-3-3, you need flair wingers more than other formations, and we let one go on loan to Valencia. Madness, yeah, that it is, isn't it? That's it, mate. Yeah, Patrick, we've seen that before, mate. Okafor, high potential. Hope he will be a hit. Yeah, I mean, he needs to be. He really needs to be. You know, we're sort of hanging a lot of hope on Okafor. Really, he's that attacking spark, that attacking flair that, you know, this side desperately needs. And literally to say there was no one better than our wingers and the available, that's being nonsense. I've never heard through. Yeah, actually, to hear Evans say that, you know, we've heard it before, and we'll only bring people in who are better than what we've already got. And to state that there were no one out there better than Anonto or James, it's quite baffling. It's quite baffling. It's all right backing your boys, but it's a bit of a mad one, isn't it, to think there's no one better than the lads we've got. I think it's a bit blind, you know, short-sighted, really. Mr. Whitesnake, during any difficult time, we all wallow in the depths of despair. Some more than others. Is how you rise up from the ashes that counts. Very inspirational guy is Steve. And he's done us a poem for this week, but I want to get through a bit more of chats. Probably do it in about 10 minutes, play his poem. Really good poem. Asked him to give me something inspirational this week to sort of end this stream and turn it into something positive, and the boys delivered, man. If you don't like this content, do not watch it. Matty is Leeds through and through. Nobody wants more from this team than Matty. Cheers, Richard. Yeah, you know that, man. You know that. I am proper all in. I am all in. I'm just so invested. Sometimes, you know, I can be a little bit down. Sometimes I'm up. But it's just, yeah, just a typical fan at the end of the day. I think DCL has looked decent if you can keep him fit. Yeah, Jack, I agree. I think he's got Premier League movement. He does fluff big chances at times, but I think if you can get him in the right areas, he'll be effective for us. He's not below Leeds United. He's not below Leeds United. You know, some people laugh when we sign DCL. He's not below a newly promoted side. It's just his fitness what is. But like my mate, Mr. Whitesnake, was saying today, oh, what if he gets injured? But what if he doesn't? What if Pirro can't score in Prem? But what if he can? And I quite like that's his sort of mentality. It's Steve's. We've been talking today, and I quite like that. We need to start thinking of that a little bit more. If buts and maybes, we've just got to back them now, haven't we? There's no saying an Okafor, you know, a DCL, any of these players are going to get injured because they've been injured. There's no saying because they've not played in the Premier League, they're not going to, you know, not DCL, but Okafor, not played in Premier League. There's no saying he isn't going to be decent in the Premier League, just he's not done it before. You know, we've got to sort of open his eyes a little bit and open a heart to all the possibilities that things can be good and this side can deliver. Still think we will scrap to stay up, but you have to hope. Or yeah, 100%, mate. Everyone was saying last year's team were better than the last time we were in the Prem, and now we have improved it massively. I agree with that first bit. I don't know if we've upgraded. I don't know if we've improved it massively though, Top Banana. On last season, I don't know if we have. No, I don't know if we've massively improved from last season. It feels like we have brought in some top players, but have we massively improved? could clone all the same players and play last season's championship winning side against this season. Yeah, I'm not sure if we've massively improved. We've improved massively in some areas, but I don't know if the whole squad and whole size has improved vastly to bridge that gap. You know, I don't know. It's maybe we have. Maybe we have. Well, if Farke gets a finger out and play the players we sign instead of Byram, Grove, yeah. Are we thinking Leeds are already out? Well, no, they've said they're not going to sign anyone, Marius. So I would say not in the public domain anyway. It doesn't look like it, but you'd like to think they'll have someone. Maybe they'll have a look at. Maybe Harry Wilson. Maybe Harry Wilson, but they'll have to spend water. But then by January, he can start talking to other clubs. Maybe we get Harry Wilson tapped up for summer, which could be too late by that point. But yeah, I don't see him playing much. Harry Wilson, we're bringing players in on deadline day that they brought in. So 49ers didn't shine at the end of the window, but best owners we have had for years. Yeah, Paul, I can't disagree with that, mate. I can't. It felt very Radrazani on deadline day. It felt like owners of the past, but let's be fair. We've seen stadium development drawings. We've seen, we've had 2 fantastic seasons in Championship with them. This has been the first sort of speed bump along the way so far, isn't it, Paul? And until if we were relegated, what can we say? You know, at the minute we're a bit down about not having players, but this may be good enough still. It may be good enough, which is how I'm sort of going to look at it from now on. It might be good enough. I just wanted it to be better and not as stressful and a bit more, of a buffer, some more reassurances there when you look at your squad and you see certain players and you go, yeah, we've got this. Right now I hope we've got this. Rangers Vice Chairman, how does Parag's role help Leeds? Surely this takes away his focus on Leeds when he should have been monitoring. Yeah, there's always going to be that divide in there that he's focusing over there. I don't know. I think he'd be daft to do that. I don't know his thought process. I don't know his schedule. I would say that's not the case, but I've got no to back that up, mate. Jack, do you think the Sunderland transfer window has made the Leeds fans think differently, or is it just actually bad? Both, Jack. Both. I think because we haven't got the 10, like there's a system Farke plays religiously, and he always has done, a 4-2-3-1. Playing a 4-3-3, and my mate Adam says, the formation don't matter too much. It's how you play. In the game, we still play similar with fullbacks bombing up, etc. But he plays a 4-2-3-1. He's pretty rigid with that. That's the formation he's played pretty much. I think all his career. I may be wrong with that, but every time I've watched a Farke team, it's a 4-2-3-1. They haven't given him a player to play in that position, so he's having to play a 4-3-3. So the fact he has to change formation, he may have done that anyway. Maybe if we could have an absolute baller in the club now in 10. Maybe we'd have signed a Hamer or somebody else. Maybe he still play a 4-3-3 because he knows it's more solid. But for me, not to have an actual key position in the formation he would normally play means it's a bad window for Leeds. But equally, Sunderland's good window, best window. It's probably the best transfer window a newly promoted side's ever had, arguably. I can't think of no more. And obviously, we say that now, but come end of season, if Sunderland go down, it was a shit window and probably makes them, financially ruined going down to the Championship. With that amount of money spent, there's a potential that it collapses and goes the other way, and it's a fucking awful window. But right now, they give it such a go. As a Leeds fan, we can look at their own and go, fucking hell, he's really backed his manager there. They've really gone for it. And we probably can't say that. So it's a bit of both, Jack. It's probably elevated the annoyance of Leeds fans that they've done so well. And then obviously online, you get the banter. I've got people in here now, Ian Brown and other Sunderland fans who are now become regulars on here, who'll come over and banter. And we have to front that up. And that wouldn't have happened if Sunderland wouldn't have had window they've had. Maybe if, we're not getting no Burnley fans bantering us, and they haven't had a bad window, to be fair. Burnley, they've had a good window by Burnley standards, but we're not getting them bantering us because they probably still know they've not got enough. But Sunderland are quite buoyant at the minute, and we're a little bit lacklustre, a little bit down. So it feels like we're sort of looking up at Sunderland at the minute when we shouldn't be. We shouldn't be. They've had an easy window. They've had an easy start to the season, and they're only 2 points in front of us, and we've played, Arsenal, Champions League team, title contenders, Newcastle Champions League side, and Everton for the final 19 games of last season under David Moyes were a top 4 Champions League side in terms of the form table. They were right up there. So we've had one of the hardest starts you could have for an newly promoted side, arguably, with losing our captain. I mean, you imagine, Ian and other Sunderland fans on here, you imagine playing those 3 games and for the last 2 of them having no Siddiqui and no Xavi or no Diarra. Xavi and Xhaka. Imagine taking Siddiqui and Diarra out of your midfield. for the last 2 games he played. You know, it's a massive difference. So I think we're doing well. I think we're doing all right. Super cute computer has us still got us both for a league. Yeah, well, that'll just be on law of averages, I guess. Well, we should go back down because we've just come back up. No one knows. Yeah, that's it, mate. No one knows at all, mate. Just hope for best, don't we? I predicted 17, says Danny. Finish now, window shut. I'm saying we finish bottom 3. I'm going to say, yeah, and it's hard to argue that, mate. I do think we have, in terms of squad depth, probably we probably are in that bottom 3 conversation in terms of what we've got. But that don't mean you can't finish higher than that. Leicester didn't have best side in league when they won fucker. So all can happen, and I firmly believe we'll be all right. But we probably are in the conversation because our squad is good in some areas and not so good in other areas. Averaging out when you're missing key players in certain positions probably has been one of the weaker sides in the division. But we'll be fine. We will be fine. If Leeds do stay up, the foundations of the defence and central midfield will have led in the window. Yeah, it will allow a big spend in attacking players next season. Yeah, I mean, if it works, Scott, it's a masterstroke, innit? It's a masterstroke. Like I say, at home, can we turn those draws into wins? Can we nick a goal here and there like we did against Everton? A bit of luck, on the side as well. Can we nick them games, and then those away games, can we keep them tight? Can we turn, some of those maybe losses into draws? I believe we can. Matty, would you have sold Pirot and Tanaka, for example, again? Not Tanaka. The only players I would have looked at to sell would have been a Pirot, a Joseph, and a Gruev. They're the only 3 I'd have been happy selling. I wouldn't have wanted to sell Tanaka. No. No, I won't. Only 7 mil with 3 add-ons, yeah. And to be fair, the add-ons, are they achievable? Maybe, maybe not. But like I say, that 7 mil could have gone towards another player, couldn't it? It could have done. Wayne Birdsall. Past 2 years, Farker's worked wonders with our squad with huge losses in personnel. He'll do it again. I love that, Wayne. I love that. I still don't think we had the manager pull. The project as well weren't sold good enough, what it, the manager pull. I worry sometimes with a manager, not the pull. I don't always think that matters. You can have a conversation with someone who you maybe don't look at, and you can sit with someone, can't you, who's got an aura about him. You sit with Pep Guardiola, and who he is and all that, and you sit with Daniel Farke, you're just probably taking him on what he's saying to you there and then. So yeah, he may not have that aura about him. He may not have that massive sort of like legacy in game where you look at him and go, it's Daniel Farke, but he should be able to sell the dream to you of what he can give you as a manager, what Leeds can give you, in your career. I do think when it comes to the final third of the pitch, the attacking flair we keep talking about, maybe the fact that Farke is maybe quite famously known for not, attacking players having to do a lot more defensive work, which a lot of managers do same, but maybe that's something. Maybe that's a part of it, Maybe a Pajau's looking at it thinking, I mean, does Pajau, does he, I mean, I can't profess to watch much of Pajau, but does he strike you like the kind of player who's going to bust a gut and get back and defend? Does Okafor? We'll have to see. I would assume Okafor does, or we wouldn't have signed him, I would assume, but, maybe that's something in it as well. Certain attacking players are looking at and going for, maybe they're looking at Farke going, I'm not too sure. I remember that interview we did with Jorginho Rutter where they were like, I'm not like him, nutmegging and doing pirouettes on the halfway line. And have a word with him about that. Stuff like that. Maybe that plays into it. I'm not too sure. But I don't think the manager pull had too much about it. You should be able to sell a project between him and everybody else at the club. Sunderland's recruitment doesn't guarantee they stay up, but at least they've shown ambition. Yeah, that's the thing. Personally, I hope it pans out for them. I hope it pans out for both of us, I do. I agree. They've given themselves a massive shot in the arm to do it, but it doesn't guarantee anything. Like Wayne said, and he's a proper decent lad, is Wayne. He don't just say it because it's Sunderland. He basically looked at it and says, I'm happy with my business. It's been best window of my lifetime, but how to sort of look at Sunderland staying up means 3 sides go down, and he still struggles to see 3 teams worse than Sunderland. He still struggles to see that, and he's a big enough man to admit that. And when you look at it like that, that's the tough part. We're clinging on to Opa, Brentford and Wolves and West Ham and obviously Burnley, us, Sunderland, them Leeds. It is a big ask though still to think these 3 teams got to finish below us. We would make a loss on Pirot. I think Pascal was the one who made the most from. Yeah, it would be for PSR winner because he'll be next to no on books. Pirot we'd have to, I assume, sell him for what we've had him for 2 years, signing for 15 mil. We'd have to be signing him for 15, 20, wouldn't we, and make any money on him, which, yeah, I sort of get that. But you'd like to think with the season he had last season, there might be someone willing to pay that, but maybe not. Farken now has to do what he has done for the last 2 seasons, take a group of players, turn them into a well-oiled machine that can achieve greatness. Only this time it will be a bigger challenge. Yeah, it will, mate, but an even better reward, mate. Just remember, you're all amazing. Good lad, Richard. You too, mate. I've said that before, mate. I've said that before. Yeah, I think Metcher's going to be sound. I really do. Matt, I hope actually, Matt, by the statement yesterday that came out, we're lucky Manuiz and Pajau never got done because by what the lunatic was coming out with, if we'd have signed Pajau, we would have only been, there wouldn't be the ones in. Yeah, maybe. Like I say, we would have been banking on selling players, wouldn't we? Which we haven't been able to do either. So, yeah, I agree. Can Mes play up front? Serious question. We've got Harrison played right wing for last 2 seasons. Nonto and James can all do a job on the right or left. Also, Okafor can play across. Yeah, Okafor, I don't want to see him playing in the 9, but his numbers in the 9 are better than him on wing. And I do think he's big enough, strong enough to play. You know, 6 foot, it's physically imposing, to be fair, for a winger anyway. I'd like to see him maybe have a go in 9 if needed. It could be a good option in there. Adam said that as well. Right, okay. I can't see us having Ampadu and Tanaka back until back end of September. I think Ampadu's back straight after international break. I think, and he does heal quite well, and all that. Farkas has done it. So we now 4 goal. We have more goalkeepers than we have right wingers and 10s combined. It's mad, isn't it? Hey up, Paul. Evening. Do you think after the disastrous deadline day, we'll start to hear the narrative of not wanting to block Harry Gray's progression, and he'll now be pushed into the side a bit prematurely? Maybe. For me, you're only 1 injury away in that striking role for him being on bench. Then you're only 1 more knock away from him getting minutes potentially, aren't you? So yeah, to say what he said before, I don't think he don't want people talking about Harry Gray wants to protect him. He ain't going to be in the playing many games and stuff like that. I think that could change. Yeah. $50. Okay. Fair play, Bamford. The squad is what it is. We just have to get on with it. What we can is no different from other seasons. Yeah, 100%, mate. Bit worried in the midfield when it comes to AFCON. Xhaka will still be here. Also, Liffey in the attacking mid position, but can't be asked to play. Dan Neil or Rigg in the middle. Chris Rigg, Dan Neil, big players for you. Champo, and you've not got rid of him, no, but they're now just backup options out there. You've gone out there and strengthened beyond that, and I like Chris Rigg, but yeah, you've done the right thing there. Rainer, oh, you think 2-0 at Fulham? You know, mad thing about that is, Rainer, it's in London. We don't win in London. So yeah, I mean, I hope you're right. That would be absolutely class. And totally spin it all on its head, won't it? From the negativity to here we go, get your passports out. 90 people watching, thanks so much. Please stick a like. I'm on 76 likes. I'd love to have 100 before we finish, if that's okay, if you don't mind. Martin Cook, hey up, mate. If DCL passed his fitness test, he's fit. He's obviously a very accomplished player. On his day, as good as they get. We've been canny to acquire players with something to prove. Yeah, and I'm massive on that. I'm massive on underdog story. It sort of fits in well with where we are after window as well. And some of our players. We had Bamford end of last season said he wants to get back in England squad, and that's a pipe dream. Then you've got DCL signing for Leeds, and I seen an interview with him just before he signed when he was a free agent, talking about trying to give Tuchel something to think about, and that ain't a pipe dream. That ain't a pipe dream for me. DCL's good enough to be playing for England. So people can laugh as much as they want. He's an international footballer. He's a Premier League footballer, as DCL. And he's had the worst start you could have. Ballooning a penalty over and missing maybe a sitter or 2. I think 2's harsh, but missing a sitter. But there's only one way to go from here, isn't it? There's only one way to go from here. And I'm going to watch him. I'm going to watch him, enjoy watching him succeed. All teams suffer from key injuries, key player injuries at times this season. Our big issue is if we lose the likes of Nonto and let's say Okafor or Snooker. Yeah, I'd have to agree, mate. We really are banking on everyone, being fit. Like you say, you do get injuries. I just feel like beneath, our backup options. Like say, if you imagine, you've got to start an Aronson and a Harrison every week, for a prolonged period. That's the worry. Every club has AFCON players and some teams will go out early doors, so it's hard to say who will be missed. Big ifs and buts. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just you have got a fair few. You've got maybe 4, 5, 6 maybe going out. And yeah, you are right. They might only miss 2 or 3 games. But when we talk about little increment gains and 1% here and trying to do everything you can to get as many points as you can early to sort of not be in that fight. If say your main players miss 3 games, that's 9 points you may not get. But what you're supposed to do, not sign a talented player you like and fits the bill for the managers because they may miss 3, 4, 5 games. I kind of get it. It just means you've got to get on board early, and you've done that with 6 points out of 9, so you've had a good start. Joe Blackburn, hey up, buddy. It's not a bad window. The window as a whole is pretty solid. Those defensive and midfield foundations are fantastic. We're just missing the nice shiny thing at the top. I think we're missing 2, but yeah, they are at the top end of the pitch. We're missing them. And yeah, solid's the word. Solid's the word I'd use. Lewis, yes, Sunderland have spent more than Leeds. Doesn't mean fans need to panic. They can still go down. Signed a lot of players with no Premier League experience. Good point. Absolutely. Stinker of a day, Dr. Cox, but we'll get there. Is it a bad window for Leeds or a bad window for Farke? Maybe the board are thought, well, it's a bad window for Leeds, but it ultimately ends up as a bad window for Farke, doesn't it? Because it doesn't give Farke what he wanted. And Farke couldn't have really done much more in terms of demanding, and letting him know what he wanted. He was very public about that. The only thing I put on Farke, and it's a massive thing, is the Ramazan situation. And I actually think the 49ers should have overruled him on that because right now it just feels ludicrous. We're down an attacking option. Imagine bringing Ramazani off bench when we need a goal. Now you've got to bring a Harrison or an Aronson off bench to get a goal. They're all right to bring off at bench when you want to hold on to a lead. Some will say they're good at pressing and they can win ball back high. So we got the goal against Everton when they were on the pitch. So I understand, they will happen. They are professional footballers. They do bring something. But I watch football to be entertained. I watch football to get my ass off my seat. Then Ramazani is that player. So the only thing on Farke for me is the Ramazani situation. Because I think if they had a better relationship, it'd still be here. I don't think the 49ers got rid. I think it's case he ain't going to play him, so he may as well loan him out. But outside that one situation, the board have failed Farke. They have failed Farke. Every game is a jeopardy game. Welcome to the Premier League MOT. Many games to break ducks and Farke broke so many Leeds records. Game on, glad windows finish. Yeah, no, I agree. And if you're not happy about being where we are, what we're doing here. We want to be in Premier League, and we knew it was going to be a struggle. Don't forget you haven't scored a goal from open play. You've a great defensive midfield like us, but that isn't going to last 90 minutes every week. No, it isn't, but if we can stay in games, Ian, for the majority of games, gives ourselves a chance. Get a foothold game, be hard to beat, nick a goal here and there. But what I'll say is, we're reading a lot into this. We haven't scored from open play, and even me, because we haven't brought in that shiny new toy like Joe said a minute ago. We're looking, going, we're going to struggle for goals this season. There's no proof we're going to struggle for goals this season. We played 3 games. It's such a small sample size. And not many teams will go to Arsenal and score. Not many teams will score against Newcastle. And Everton have won the next 2 games. So is it as big a deal as in pre-season? None of us were saying we're lacking creativity until AC Milan game. But then again, we were playing fucking AC Milan. I know it was a 0-0 against Scum pre-season, but I wasn't watching any of those pre-season games. Everyone in chat, you may disagree, but I didn't watch those pre-season games and think, oh my God, we hadn't had a shot on target today. We were still going forward. We still looked capable of scoring, and we did score. Those 2 games in Germany, we scored a fair few goals. So I don't think it's a case of maybe it's not as bad as what we think. But you are right, 1 goal from none from open play. But look who we've played, Ian. Look who we've played. There's a formation change as well that, you know, we haven't got that 10. We started Pido up top in 2 of those games, and he's dropping into that 10 because he's got no one behind him. He drops deep. Once we get the personnel right, I think the goals will come. 3 games, small sample size. I argue if you would have played those 3 games, you'd have got less points than us and you wouldn't have scored as many as you've scored. So that's how I sort of see it. Wait until we've played, you know, close to 10 games and we can assess it properly. We know we're missing a little bit of flair up top. I'm not saying we're going to be banging in goals this season. We're not. But maybe it's not as bad as what we think up top. Maybe those attacking players have got more than what we're giving them credit for. Beat Fulham, beat Wolves, we'll all be back in. The joys have been a Leeds. Yeah, that's it. Results determine your mood, Russ. Results can turn everything around. Of course it can. And they're games that are winnable games. Dave, is it this Saturday you're doing the walk? What time will you be getting to church at? So, Dave, it's a bit of a unknown, right? So we're setting off at 6:30 from Old Trafford Saturday morning, and we are walking just under 42 miles, and it's saying with 4 stop-off points, but we are only going to have to stop for about 10 minutes. It's saying around 10 o'clock. So if you factor in, you know, a couple of 3 or 4 stop-off points as well, it could be anywhere between, really depending on speed, because we did it pretty quick last time. It could be anything from 9:30 probably till 11 o'clock. It's going to be in that sort of time frame, pal. Anywhere from 9:30, 10 through to 11. Be nice to have had some people waiting for us, but it's probably too late for everyone, to be honest. It's going to be too late for everyone. And talking about the walk, if you can see in that top left-hand corner on my screen, it shows the live time actually covering the QR code, which I don't know if you can see that. I don't think you can you? Which is good. So that QR code at the top left corner, if you can scan that, if anyone can donate anything for that walk, half of money is going to Andy's Man Club, half of money is going to Leeds Autism Services. If anyone can donate anything at all to both charities, you'd make me day, you really would. You know, hopefully the sponsors will come in on day. I think we're well below. I think we're £400 short on my target for the autism charity. And I think we're about £500 short on the Andy's Man Club charity. So I'm really hoping for a big push. So don't be annoyed if I'm on the day tomorrow and Saturday, proper pushing for sponsors. I don't beg for out in my life, but I really don't want to do this walk and put myself out of work for a couple of days and in a bad way, which it will be. And I'm going to document it all. And so you can all see and share that journey. I don't want to do it and not hit the target. I think this target's a set of £700 for both charities. I don't think it's a lot to ask when I've got a big following online with all you lovely folks, which I can't believe I've got, but I have. My family, my friends, my work friends, and obviously there's about 11 of us doing it. So, you know, surely we can all chip in and get that target hit. I hope so anyway, mate. But yeah, thanks for asking about walk. Positive thinking, lads, we can both stay up. Yeah. Actually, on a serious note, I dropped Nonto and James. They haven't given us. Oh, I quite like looking Nonto, actually. I like looking Nonto the other day. I did. Aronson and Harrison, I'd start at Fulham forward. I won't be surprised if you see. I don't think you'll see both of them start. I think there'll be an outcry from fans. But Harrison has surprised me. I haven't minded seeing Harrison play. He's done okay, hasn't he? He's done okay, and he knows the movements and the runs of DCL better than anyone that he spent the last 2 years with him. Are you not watching, Mark? I'm doing it on Saturday, mate. Saturday at 6:30 in the morning. I thought you were watching. Don't put me off. Colin. Evening, Colin. Hope you're well, mate. Yeah, I'm good, mate. Thank you. When in reality, Leeds fans turn water into wine. Ian Brown, would Zinchenko on loan not have been better for you instead of paying 10? Maybe. I mean, was he available? Did he move? Did he go anywhere? I heard, someone say earlier we should get Zinchenko, but I never seen out for it. I did think he was out of our reach, to be honest. But yeah, I would rather have Zinchenko probably now. Yeah, but he can't play it right, can he? Justin can do both. Maybe Zinchenko can't play him right. He's a good footballer, but he's very left-footed, isn't he? Couple of links here from Danny again. DCL plays better with a partner. Who do you think will start with him up front? I don't think they will, Colin. I don't think they'll play two up front, mate. I really don't. Maybe Pirro just off him, but I don't think they'll play that way. And big up, Matty. Just got in. Cheers, Luke. Hope you're well, mate. We'll call White. Marching on with Sean. Go check Marching on with Sean. I've just done a video with him. Full time to talk my mental health channel. I've actually got a really special guest, a bloke called Martin, next week. I don't know if I'm going to do the full time to talk as a separate channel anymore, because it doesn't really get the eyes on the conversations that I'm having on there, my mental health channel. So I'm thinking I may bring the full time to talk on here and just have it as a separate sort of segment, full time to talk. But a bloke called Martin, who it was in the Ariana Grande Blast concert, and the things he's achieved with all these things he's gone through after that, life-changing injuries, and I've got him on for a chat. A lot of people might know him. He's been in media quite a lot. He's climbed Kilimanjaro and stuff, and unreal what he's done since going through all that. But thanks for shouting that one out, Danny. A couple more channels in here if you want your Leeds content, go check them all out. Gary, just because we've had a good window, we still don't know how they will perform. We need them to click and adapt to surroundings, playing styles. Yeah, no, you do, mate. There's no saying because you've had a good window, Sunderland fans. It's going to work out for you. A lot of people are gel, but we've had 10 new players coming as well. So yours have gelled pretty well with 6 points out of 9. Yeah, well, they did this last year, Lewis. I remember them being top of the league last year, and they were I were getting loads of stick then, but it didn't last for long, did it? Smash a like and subscribe, please, and please hit the links in the chat. Yeah, Hutchins, hi, Matty. Hope you're well, buddy. Whoa, look at that for confidence. Russ Farker's obvious issue with Ramazani is irrelevant. He's paid to manage, hence side before self at the club is number one priority, and I do think Ramazani would have shown. Yeah, well, I agree with all that. And when people say he don't track back, I think that's bollocks. I watch him when I go to every home game, and he does track back. He does work hard. He never looks like he's not interested. He's a life and soul at dressing room. We could see that when we got promoted. And if, let's say, he wasn't tracking back or he wasn't doing what Farker was doing, that's where, as a manager, in your line of work, don't you? If you work in a factory or whatever you do as a job, you see someone not to in line, you pull them in line, don't you? And you tell them to do it better. That's what you do. Not everybody is going to work to the hardest of their ability every day, because guess what? We're humans. We're not fucking machines, are we? So it's up to you as a manager to get the best out of your staff, the best out of your players. And Ramazani, for me, it's just a lazy argument that he don't track back. It's a lazy argument they don't try hard, that he's not good enough in training, because if he wasn't good enough in training, he wouldn't be in a match day squad for a manager like Farker. So I think that were bollocks. I do believe they should have got more out of him. It's a crying shame that he's been able to leave on loan. It really is. But it is what it is. I will get over it one day. I don't know when, but I hope I do, because it's awful. Xhaka has 300 appearances. Adingra 60 for Brighton. Masawaka 120 for West Ham. Ballard 2 for Arsenal. No experience there. No, there were a lot of goals last year. A lot of goals. Yeah, I will do, mate. I'll ping you over on WhatsApp, mate. They are in this chat, though. They are in my description in here, mate. You can copy and paste them out there if you want, pal. I'd go with that. And James off bench. But I do love James, so I'll give him a bit more time first before I look at taking him out. Dave76, I'll be there to see you home, no worries. And if someone donates 50 to your charity, I'll give a medium-sized drill top. I have 2, and the medium is too big on me, so I'll donate that to. Oh, thanks, mate. Cheers, Dave. I'll let you know, mate. But yeah, I'll document it anyway. I'll let people know. I'll drop my pin and stuff as we're getting closer to Leeds. If you want to come and see me cry and my feet bleeding, I don't know how long I'll be sticking around at Ellen Road, because I want my bed, but it'd be nice if anyone does show up, mate. I'd absolutely love that. It'd mean in the world to sort of have that support. I'd love it. How's he got to Forest? Decent signing. Sorry, bud, just got back. Had to let the other half in. She's been out. No worries, Mark. I think starting Nottingham on the right and Harrison on the left with James off the bench might be the best fit at the moment. And you know your stuff, Richard. So, Joe Blackburn, I think its own series here makes more sense. Yeah, you know what it is, Joe. Like I say, I've done some really powerful talks, and I know obviously we have to reschedule that way. been so hard for me to fit in. I mean, we've been busy going to Dublin, and then obviously I went away to Arsenal. I've just been away to Butlins for a weekend. I've had so much going on, and obviously planning for walk. The mental health videos on Full Time Talk. I've gone from doing one every week for about 6 weeks in a row to not doing one for a month now. And obviously, it's like when you start something new and it's all exciting and you're focused on it, and then life hits you and you sort of try to fit it in where you can. So I'm sort of thinking I'll probably knock it down to maybe 2 a month, a manageable amount of content. But I don't like doing it and only because it's a really nice space over there. When we put them on as a premiere, we have the same people in chat watching videos, and the communication and the chat. It's such a nice place. But like I want when someone's coming on, and talking about the battle with prostate cancer and opening up like that, I think it deserves to be seen by more people than maybe the 80 or 100 people that watch over there because of the subscriber amount I've got. I think putting on in here, I'm always concerned that it's not everyone's bag and it's not everyone's cup of tea, and I get that. But I think if I just do it in moderation, there will be more than maybe 80, 100 people that watch it, and the message it's so much powerful. It's a lot more powerful than Leeds United, and it talk about mental health and people opening up about their story. So I think I may bring it back onto Imagine Not Being Leeds. I just remember when I had what's his name, Stephen Corker, the footballer, on. Stephen Corker came on 6 months ago to talk about his gambling addiction and his struggles with mental health, his drinking problems. But he came on Imagine Not Being Leeds. He's never played for Leeds, and it just felt so random. And I was like, what an opportunity to interview an ex-England international. Yeah, played one cap, but also scored in that game. And I had it, so in my head, it was like, I'm gonna have to create a second channel, just in case all like that comes up again. And I think I just overthought it. I don't think it needs another channel. I just think I just need to just do better. Pero is our second striker. I think he's third choice, me. I think he's third choice now, me. I really do. Ariana Grande doing her first concert in 6 years in London soon. Oh, really, Coxie? Matty, what you're making of no business in January because of PSR reasons? I'm not happy with it, Andy. I'd be daft to be happy with it. Yeah, I'm not happy at all the way that. I'm hoping it's a load of shite, to be fair. I'm hoping it's just saying it to temper expectations. But it's likely that we're not going to do nothing in January. Mr. Whitesnake, he has been in, mate. He might be dipping in and out and get a bit of shopping to do. But he was earlier. Matty, what would please you with Leeds total points from the next 2 away matches? Next 2 away matches, Fulham and Wolves. I'd be happy with 3 points. 2 draws. I won't be mad with. That'd be 6 points from 5 games. I'd be happy with that return. Yeah, 2 or 3 points. 2 draws, no losses, obviously, but I wouldn't mind, a loss if we picked up a win. I don't think 6 is realistic. I think Fulham's so hard, so hard. I've got some walking trainers, mate, and I've only worn them for last 2 days. I haven't even broke them in properly. So, yeah, I'm an idiot. $1.50 a mile, boys, on the walk. Anybody matching me, put up, boys. Cheers, Bill. I know you've told me that, and you're a good lad. Thanks a lot, Bill. Think a lot of you, mate. Letting Rama go when Okafor picked up a knock and hadn't signed for another was really poor decision, however. Yeah, I agree, Richard. I said that earlier. Nice, bang on that. Only a thought, but is young Harry Gray ready? Not ready. Yeah, he won't start. I think he'll find himself on bench at some point this season. Yes, I've got anti-blister socks. I've got some of them, mate. I've got a few pairs from last time I did it too. There's no getting away from blisters, Bill. There's no... your body isn't supposed to walk 42 miles in one day. There's no getting away from it. You can just prolong them for as long as you could. First time I did it, I got to about 18, 20 mile, and then I could feel my feet blistering. And then after that point, it's just downhill from there. It's going to be awful. It's going to be awful. Doing it once a fortnight would be good. Just have a health warning before. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I think I'm going to do it that way. What brand are the walking shoes? Because you can get away with it. I got them from Go Outdoors. I can't remember what they're called. Yeah, got them from Go Outdoors. I got a good deal on them because my dad works at Go Outdoors. So they're about 60 quid and I got them for 30. So I was happy. Sorry, my Piro would be the best option as a second. Sorry, mate. Yeah. I get that. Yeah. To the lads who bang on about no Premier League experience, it's bollocks. If the player is good enough, he will adapt, some instantly, but others. Yeah, I get that, mate. I get that. If we draw or beat the Geordie bastards and stay out, what a fucking season, yeah. Thoughts on Jed Spence getting England call up? Wild. I mean, he's played well. Does he deserve it? Maybe. Just wild, innit? Wild. Only back from a Connor Moore gig. It was good, I assume. So, right, I've got to end the chat. I'm not going anywhere yet. Don't you guys worry. I'm still in good spirits. I'm going to move on now and play Mr. Whitesnake's poem. So he's doing a poem every week about the week or whatever's on his mind about the week at Leeds United for Late Night Leeds. So obviously this is a bit of a different Late Night Leeds. I wanted to do a bit of a solo one with my boys being out of action this week. But he's still done us a lovely poem. So Mr. Whitesnake, Steve, as you know, is a very positive guy when it comes to Leeds United. Goes through his own mental health battles as well. Opens up a lot. You should go check his channel out. He speaks from the heart. Really passionate guy. He sometimes does a couple of takes on these because reading poem out after he's wrote it, you know, sometimes you can stutter your words. He stutters them a couple of times in here, but he said to me, you know, I'm sorry, but I wanted to keep it like this because it shows my emotion. He's really passionate about Leeds and he hates the negative vibe, although understands the need to vent and the need to be like this. But yeah, here's Mr. Whitesnake's weekly poem. Let me know what you think. Here we go.
Mr. Whitesnake writes poetry from New Zealand.
My fellow Leeds fans, g'day. I wish to address the transfer situation. We cannot change the place we stand, nor the fate that has slipped from our hand. So have your say, then let it fall. There's little we can do at all. We speak of worries dark and long, of all the ways that things go wrong. But what if hope could have its day? Then light might cause the dark to fade. What if players all stayed strong, fit and firing all season long? What if Metcha, Pirot and DCL strike 10 goals or more and strike them well? What if our back line holds its ground, clean sheets with banners all around? What if our midfield fires the attack, Tanaka, Gruev, Amps and Stack? What if our youth step up to fight and carve their names in Leeds' bright light? What if at home we guard our gate and the top 6 sides capitulate? What if belief begins to rise, a fire that burns in all fans' eyes? For we are Leeds, both proud and true, hoist the colours yellow, white and blue. So when we speak of what might be, let hope not fear be what we see. The what ifs shine when spoken right. What ifs must yield to Leeds United's might. Thank you and good night.
Mr. Whitesnake writes poetry from New Zealand.
Love that, Stevie, lad. Absolutely love that, mate. Honestly, I absolutely love it. Absolutely love that you do that for us every week. What a fucking guy. What a guy. What an absolute gent of a man. A lovely man you are, mate. Massive respect, Mr. Whitesnake. Matty, I'm going to send you a voice note after this. Need to ask you something nobody's done it. I swear he's getting better week on week. Yeah, honestly, his poems are class. He's so good. What a star this lad is. Richard Organised, Steve. Hope you're keeping well. Best wishes for the longer days that you're are on the way. Getting Whitesnake, love it. Love that, says Pat. Yes, Mr. Whitesnake, says Aisha. Great job, Mr. Whitesnake. Much respect to you from my mate Bill. Cheers, Ian Brown. Class. Great poem, Steve. Look at this. Love Mr. Whitesnake. Look at this love. Absolutely love it, mate. He smashed that one out of the park. And he said there, my therapist learnt a lot from my interview with Matty on Full Time to Talk. She even watched Jam's session, so that give Matty effort some credit. Thanks, pal. Yeah, great chat with you there, mate, as well. So, yeah, loved it. You're a legend. So I think that's probably it. You know, I'm really happy that I've been able to come on tonight and have just a chinwag with chat. It is my favourite thing to do, I won't lie, as much as I love having people on. Apart from Late Night Leeds, the 3 of us, I love that. But, like, I do love just coming on here with just having a chat with you guys. Got it. Plenty of Vaseline, Matty, especially under the crotch, thighs, buddy. Definitely for me, mate, with my thunder thighs. Top man, Mr. Whitesnake, respect. Get Whitesnake and Bill in the dressing room before games. Yeah, oh, Sean, that'd be class. That'd be class. Legendary, bro. Cheers, Jack. A lot of love for you there, Steve. Hope you're feeling that, mate. So I'm just going to quickly play my little clip about my walk again, just to sort of drum up again, because I'm just fucking annoying you. Please stick a like on video. 65 watching now as we're coming to a close. 88 likes. If anyone out of these 65 who haven't liked it, please stick a like on. And there's just a little imagery of how far I've got to walk from Old Trafford to Ellen Road. 41 miles ish of land to cover by my poor feet, all in the name of charity. All money will be raised will be split between two amazing charities that mean a lot to me personally, and his Man Club and Leeds Autism Services. So if you please donate anything, the QR code is up there and the links are in the description. I would love you a long time if you don't mind doing that for me. How is the poll? Let's have a look at the poll, because I would have forgot. It's a 60-40 split. I'm going to end poll there. I've had 121 votes on that. 60-40 split saying yes. 60% reckon we stay up, Luke. We'll take that, won't we? Nah, it is very much nip and tucking it with that. You know, I speak to one friend, I speak to someone else, and they're giving me different vibes. So, yeah, the 60-40 lean on the positive side. Which teams are getting relegated? Mick, it's tough, man. It's tough. I'm going to go Burnley, Brentford, Wolves. They're the three. 15 hours unreal, that, mate. Yeah, it might even take a bit longer, Ian. It might take a bit longer. But yeah, 15, 16 hours non-stop until I get there. Last time I did it, I've done it once before. Did it 4 years ago, but when I did it 4 years ago, I was in a proper bad way mentally. And I actually did it, even though I was raising money for charity. I didn't really promote it. I didn't speak to anyone. I was in my own little... I didn't speak to anyone. I went to work and came home, and that was it. And I did it to punish myself. I actually did it to hurt myself. I didn't really want to be here anymore, so I didn't give a shit about myself. So I pushed me, and I actually finished it. And I'm worried now, because I'm in such a better place. I'm worried now that when I get to that wall, what I smashed through last time, and thought, fuck it, you know, if you kill me, you kill me. Let's just get through this. And I didn't give a fuck for my own well-being, really. But like the thought of doing it this time, when I hit that same position, I'm happy. You know, what's gonna get me through? You know, my dark moments. So that's where you guys come in. That's where you guys come in when I post about it. And you know, if I do a few lives, don't worry, tell me to get my chunky ass moving, because I need to finish it. I don't want to come in here and be embarrassed that I only did 30 mile or 35. I want to finish it. So yeah, I'll get there. I'm sure I'll get there. Burnley, Brentford and Villa, no chance. You keep saying Villa. Clean sheets keep teams up. I think so, Richard. Home form and clean sheets. Foot powder every 6 miles. Ooh, okay. Now you are dreaming, but what a dream that'd be, mate. Yeah, I know. So last time we raised money for Andy's Man Club, I think we raised about £1,000 through my sponsors. But yeah, while I was doing the walk, all I was thinking about was just, I didn't give a shit. I sort of just put myself in a position there where I could hurt myself, and I just sort of did it. But this time, it's my little boy, man. You know, autism charity, raising money for Leeds Autism Services, which, you know, is in the... It'll help kids out like our Jonah. So that's massive. And obviously Andy's Man Club, I've sat in the meeting. So yeah, I'm hoping it doesn't feel, you know, it doesn't fail on the targets I've hit. Hopefully we can get it. I think on the day it'll be easier to get donations. I will give you a rub down. How long are your arms? Thank you all so much. I'm glad you enjoyed that, Mr. Whitesnake. And I never want to put pressure on you to do these poems, but I know you're enjoying doing them and you're absolutely smashing them out of the park. I don't know how quickly it takes you to do them, mate, but really enjoying them. Gary Hoyle, great show again, Matty. Night. Cheers, Gary. Take care, buddy. What gets you through is your family and friends. We got you. Yeah, cheers, Bill. I know. I am worried that I'm not going to finish it this time. Well, last time I knew I'd finish it, but yeah, I'll do it. Got to believe it. If one of the promoted teams don't stay up, the Premier League is... If one of the promoted teams don't stay up, the Premier League is officially fucked. Yeah, it feels that way, doesn't it, Ian? If we all go back down, what's the fucking point? Close the fucking door and let us just crack on. Like, it would feel very... It wouldn't feel great, would it, if we all went back down? Burnley, Wolves and Leeds. I can't argue with that, Danny. I can't argue with that. Stretching is important and don't set off too quick. Yeah, I'll have to make sure our lass isn't leading, mate, because she sets a quick pace to our lass. Just know we're all behind you. Thanks, Rich. Thanks a lot. I know you are as well. I know you're all wishing me well. Great show, mate. Thanks, Ian. Good luck. Thanks a lot, mate. It means a lot, buddy. Mr. Whitesnake, you're one of us. Sure you have our love, bud, too, right? Good luck for your walk, Maya. You've got this. Thanks, Angela. Honestly, thanks for all support, man. You're legends. But I think we'll leave it there. Shall I play us out with a song? Have I got any saved on it? Let me just check. I'm playing the same ones all the time, aren't I? Yeah, on here I've only got Marching On Together saved, which you've probably heard a million times, and the song for Chris and Kev, but that's... I don't know if you want to hear that one tonight. But yeah, I think they're all the ones I've got on my computer currently. Oh. Ross, really enjoyed this. Cheers, Matty. Cheers, folks. No, thank you. Thank you all. Say some streams I've got stuff to come talk about and we'll go through stuff. This one will just very much let's try and click on every chat I can to a degree. And then, yeah, without you, if no one had tuned in, it would have been me sat here twiddling my thumbs. So now I'm buzzing. Thanks so much. I really enjoy these. You will smash it my up. So another great stream. I do not have to tell you, it's fantastic and it's great what you're doing. Thanks, Richard, man. You're a legend. Thank you. Smash a like and subscribe on your way out. 94 likes. Can we get it to 100? Probably not, because you probably all liked it. It was currently still in here, but thank you. Bit of Chaz and Dave. Right. I'm just going to play us out with Marching On Together, which you've all heard umpteen times now, but let's go for it anyway. Thanks so much, everyone. Take care. Good night. Love yous, man. Thank you.
Here we go with Leeds United. We're gonna give the boys a hand. Stand up and sing for Leeds United. They are the greatest in the land. Every day we're all gonna say we love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds. Everywhere we're gonna be there. We love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds. Marching on together, we're gonna see you in. Na 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 na. We shout it out loud, we love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds. We've been through it all together, and we've had our ups and downs. Gonna stay with you forever, at least until the world stops going around. Every day we're all gonna say we love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds. Everywhere we're gonna be there.
We've got this. We've got this. Night, everybody.